This meeting is being recorded, Lubna. Now, hey, ladies and gentlemen, we're back again with Miss Lubna Kabir from, well, she's a universal lady, but she resides right now in Orange County, California. And is that right, Orange County?
Yes, I live in Orange County. I live in Anaheim, California, and actually I will be moving to Arizona in a few weeks, actually at the end of July, just because I'm going to medical school in Arizona, in the Phoenix area. Mhm.
So that sounds like a hot experience in Arizona than Phoenix there, right?
Yes, I actually went there this past week with my mom to get moved into my apartment that I'm going to have when I start medical school. And it was very hot since it's basically the middle of summer right now. But hopefully it will cool down a little bit in the fall and in the winter.
So tell me about your apartment. How do you like it? What's up?
It's very nice. It's very peaceful and quiet, and it's facing east, so I have a nice view of the sunrise. And
Oh, yes, I love it.
yeah, and Arizona is definitely very different from what I'm used to since I've lived in New York City and in Orange County and Los Angeles area my whole life. And I was born in Chicago, so I'm used to more like urban places. But the part of Arizona where I'll be staying is actually Glendale, which is a suburb of Phoenix, and that's where my school is. And it's just very open and eh, not exactly rural, but it's just very like not as or urban as I'm used to from the past.
Well, that sounds like a nice shift in pace, right? And that have that hectic
Mhm.
energy going on.
Yeah, I think this will be a good environment for me as I go into medical school, and it'll help me like concentrate on my schoolwork. And my goal is after medical school to go somewhere where like I want to be long term, maybe New York City or Los Angeles again.
Right. So tell me, what type of you're going to a special medical school? Is that right?
I'm going to an osteopathic medical school, which is just it's very similar to allopathic medical schools. It's just another medical school, but osteopathic medical students get additional 200 hours training in osteopathic manual manipulation, which is kind of a different method of healing, which involves like manipulating the musculoskeletal system instead of using medications. Like they try to alleviate like pain and chronic illnesses without using medications.
So is that good for like, your legs and arms, or is it good for internal? Um,
Yeah, both, I believe. I mean, I'm not an expert yet, so I don't know much about it, but I think they use that on especially like older people like with physical issues. It's kind of like physical therapy, except like doctors, they just use it as a to complement like
oh, I see.
traditional medicine. Yeah.
It's
Mhm.
part of their protocol, modality.
Yeah, and osteopathic physicians also focus on holistic care, which involves the mind, body, and the spirit, which is part of the philosophy of osteopathic medicine. So I was attracted to osteopathic medicine because of that holistic focus.
So now you have a month before you get back, before you get into it,
Hmm.
and I guess you're gonna be very busy when you get there.
Yes, yeah.
So what would you like to talk about today?
I, just like where I am in my life right now, it's just a little bit complicated. Sometimes I wonder whether I'm making the right decision of like going to medical school and becoming a doctor, or if some other profession or career would have been right for me. Because in large part, I was influenced or kind of coerced to become a doctor by my mother, who is a doctor herself. And like in our culture, I mean, my mom is South Asian, but I'm also South Asian, but I grew up and was born in America. And we see things very differently. So she sees becoming a doctor or an engineer or like lawyer as the more like suitable means for becoming successful, and anything other than those are not like ways to become successful. So in that in that respect, I like really love art and literature and the more creative things, but I don't know like if my mom would ever approve of me doing something with my life that is only involving the creative arts. So that's why I have had a lot of like internal struggle about whether or not I want to become a doctor myself or if it's my mom forcing me to become a doctor.
Well, yeah, that's important because when the going gets tough, you're gonna have to rely on your own internal fortitude.
Yeah. And I mean, when I went there this past week, like to my apartment and visiting the campus and everything, I just felt like a little like a stranger. I don't know. It just felt like it wasn't right for me. Maybe it's just because I'm in a new place and I'm starting something new, and I just have a feeling of not like a place where I'm not too familiar with it yet. But and hopefully it will grow on me over time, but I don't know, maybe it's just, this, like, internal feeling like medicine is not right for me, but I don't know. We'll see where it goes. I'll just let
Well,
it flow.
maybe it's just,
Mhm,
you start something new, you know how it is. Like
mhm.
when you did graduate school, I mean, how did that feel?
That felt actually it was very different because I did online grad school. So I got my MPH online from USC. So I didn't really have to change much in regards to like where I was living. I was still able to live in New York and work over there while I was doing my classes online at USC. Um, but also like in my undergrad, when I arrived at New York City for going to Columbia for undergrad, it was a huge shock because I never lived in such a big city
Yeah,
before.
right.
Yeah. Mhm,
It's a big shock living in
mhm.
uptown. Was it 116th Street, right?
Yeah, 116th Street, so, like, basically Harlem, a little bit, south of Harlem, yeah.
Yeah, that's okay. So I mean, it sounds like based upon what you post, I
Mhm,
mean, what you post is what you like.
mhm. Yeah, that's exactly like my point kind of. I really I use social media a lot, especially over the past year with the pandemic. I just use that to keep in touch with my friends and share my thoughts, because I don't have any like siblings or anyone at home to like spend my time with. It's just me and my thoughts, and so I always share things about like nature, flowers, photography, art, philosophy, and things like that that I really love. And find my I don't find myself sharing as much about like science and medicine as people would expect me to if I was a doctor. So that's why you see like a lot of my friends and a lot of people who know me, they don't really see me as a doctor, and so it's just my identity is very different from path that I'm heading towards at this time. That's how I feel.
So what? How long is this going to take?
It will take 4 years. Medical school is a total of 4 years, and the first 2 years I will have to be on campus in Arizona, where I'm moving to in a few weeks, and after that, we have rotations during our third and fourth year. So that involves going to different hospitals and different places for each of the rotations. Like there's a rotation in neurosurgery, family medicine, pediatrics, like the different specialties for the
Mm.
third and fourth years. And some people do their rotations in LA or in I don't know, a different part of Arizona or Northern California. So we have to travel a lot. And I think that will be fun for me. But yeah, I don't know. Like it's just something that I never really saw myself doing for like since when I was young. And even now I don't really see myself doing that. But maybe
Well,
maybe I'll end up loving it.
could be. So
Mhm.
what do you see yourself doing?
I At this point, I don't really see myself doing anything else because I just my whole like path has been just being a pre-med student and then doing a master's in public health and now applying to medical school. So it's hard for me to imagine what else I would have done, but I do feel like this is not a good fit for me. But anyway, I am trying my best to like do the things I love still, like writing and taking pictures. And when I went to Arizona, the sunsets and the skies were so beautiful, and that really I feel like I'm really looking forward to that. Even though I'm going to medical school there, I'm really looking forward to taking pictures of the beauty and capturing all of the sunsets in Arizona.
And so what, do you have any idea what you'll be taking this first year? What courses?
Yeah, we are gonna take like a bunch of like anatomy courses and like learning about the different systems of the human body. And I'm actually very excited to make friends and like be in class with people in person. It's been a very long time since I've done that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right, right. I kind of forget that class at school shut down, right?
Yeah, and it's it's very difficult. I found to like make friends after college because I'm not in classes with people. I don't know. Maybe it's just because of the pandemic, but that's just one thing I'm really looking forward to, and I'm very grateful after the pandemic, being able to socialize with people and like the power of human connection. Even now, having this Zoom meeting with you is very like I'm very grateful for this
Yeah,
because
it's
it's
kind of energizing.
connection.
We haven't talked for about what, 2 or 3 months, right?
Yeah, I believe the last time we talked was in February, at the
Oh,
end of
wow.
February,
So I guess
or the beginning of March.
is it every quarter, or do we have to do it every 6 months? What should we do?
We can do um, like every quarter would be good. Whatever you would like. We'll
Because
definitely keep in touch over
see, my
Facebook.
schedule's not in medical school. Because I know you'd be going crazy, man. So it's that time, right?
Yeah, but I know that, like, so far I know that my schedule is Monday through Thursday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., and then Fridays, 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. So I have the weekends off and half days on Fridays. So that will be, I guess, my schedule.
Yeah, I'm just saying because it, it's good to reach out. It's good to, like, have a chat about what's going on, the frustrations, the wins, the things that you're winning at, the things that you need to get better at. Just
hmm
keep people informed. Your friends like to hear that, and it might be helpful for you too.
Yeah, definitely. And like having people outside of the medical school environment
Yeah,
to
yeah, you never
keep
know.
in
That might
touch
be
with.
helpful too.
Yeah. hmm And I like one thing I'm kind of apprehensive about is like the type of people I'll meet in medical school because as you know, I'm very passionate about the more emotional things in life like art, beauty, philosophy, and I love music. I love creative things and the things that really speak to our soul. And I don't know, like a lot of medical students and pre-med students that I've known when I was in college are very um, more practical, I guess, and they're more into like science and just I don't know. I had a lot of trouble making friends in college as a pre-med student because a lot of them were not interested in the same things that I'm interested in. So, as you said, I think it'll be important for me to maintain friends and relationships
Yeah, yeah,
outside of
you
medical
need that
school.
support, and keeping what you're sharing about medical students. I
hmm
can't say for students, but there are medical schools now that are using art, painting and drawing as a
hmm
teaching modality.
hmm
And
Yeah.
these are not osteopathic schools; they're regular, allopathic schools.
hmm
And so I wouldn't sell that short. I would look at it in terms of, like, maybe you might to get into the art thing, you might get into some acupuncture. You know what I'm saying?
hmm
and as a specialty, as if you're a doctor and you do acupuncture, you have a higher level of, your playing field is a lot wider,
Mm-hmm.
and you can include those other modalities. You can include breath work. You can include all that stuff that you like as part of a healing modality.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe it's just like, yeah, you love writing and you love all that stuff. However, if you tie it to the medicine, you have to go through the medical thing. But if, on the back end side, you'll be a specialist.
Mm-hmm.
Only Dr. Lubna has this.
Yeah, yeah, that's something I've been told by a lot of people. Just trying to find a way to incorporate art into healing and into medicine. And I think definitely, even, especially as an osteopathic medical student and eventually a doctor, it'll be easier to incorporate like art and creativity since osteopathic medicine
Right.
does
Yeah.
focus
That's
on.
that's that's like because that's it's not allopathic. You know.
Mm-hmm,
You don't have to work in a hospital. You have your own private practice.
mm-hmm,
Um, breath work is a big thing now too. You might want to consider that. There's a lot of good research on breath work.
mm-hmm,
Um, I know people who do a lot of great work with art and psychotherapy. There's a lot of good stuff going on there.
mm-hmm,
So it's open for you. You
mm-hmm.
you you. So it's what you make it, but take your passions and use your passions in the medical sense so that you can get them out there quicker because it'll propel you faster than just trying to knock heads with the regular people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. And also, one thing about medical school that I'm kind of scared about is competition, because like a lot of people, as you know, like medicine and the road to becoming a doctor is very competitive, and I'm not a very competitive person, or like I don't like to beat other people at anything, and so I don't know. I might have trouble with that, but I'll try to
Well,
make.
well let's. You want to explore that? Are you open to explore that?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, first of all, with whom do you compete?
Um, like at this time, I mean, from what I know about medical school, I know that your scores in relation to other people in your class really matter in terms of like ranking. So yeah, it's
Well,
very.
okay, that's the classic textbook answer.
Hmm.
But Lubna, there's no competition except between your left ear and the right ear
Hmm.
of you.
Hmm. It's yourself, right? It's
Right.
within yourself.
And so
Hmm.
I'm gonna give you a little tip now. I mean, I do breath work, and in your new endeavor, you want to use a lot of breath work to keep yourself centered and to
Hmm.
reduce anxiety
Hmm.
because you have an anxiety about this competition thing.
Hmm.
Now, when you get there, they're going to tell you stuff like, look to the left, look to the right, the person to your left or the person to your right is not going to be here. They're going to tell you all that crap,
Hmm.
right? Don't get psyched out. There's only one thing you have to know. That's who you are.
Hmm.
Because they're going to tell you that. And if it doesn't resonate with you, it doesn't resonate with you.
Hmm.
However, if you're being anxious about it, it's going to resonate with you.
Hmm. That's really good advice. Thank you. I agree that when you're like anxious about it, then it's gonna, I mean, the more you think about it, the more it becomes true for you. Like if you
Right, right. So,
think it's
so,
it's a,
so
yeah, sorry.
here's the deal. It's your thinking, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now your thinking and your feelings, they're tied together, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. But what controls your thinking and what controls your feeling?
You.
Your breath,
Your breath. Okay.
all
Mm-hmm.
right? Your breathing pattern.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, you could have a chest breathing, panting like a dog, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or you can have diaphragmatic breathing, deep like a samurai.
Mm-hmm.
So you are not a dog, you are what? A
A
samurai.
samurai.
Right. So get my point?
Yes.
So now what I'm saying is part of your routine could be that you do your breathing every day or when you need it, plus
Mm-hmm.
every day.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to keep you in good stead uh, psychically, spiritually.
Mm-hmm.
Because what this is, see, it's a test of will.
Mm-hmm.
It's a test of your internal fortitude.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I went to law school for a year, and it was very stressful. I didn't have any knowledge. No one told me how to navigate through that because no one I knew around me knew.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sharing with you this is a protocol that you could incorporate between now and the time you start to get a good foundation.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it'll stay you in good stead.
Mm-hmm.
And if you like, I can send you my clips. I'll send you the basic one. You can start there if you want to use it anytime you want to. But
Mm-hmm.
that's the name of the game because the breathing controls your thinking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that would be very helpful. If it would be great if you could send me one of your clips, because yeah, I think that's very necessary, like in a high stress environment, like
Yeah,
medical school or law
yes,
school.
right. Because think about it. I just felt it like high stress was all up in my chest and my heart was beating faster when you mentioned it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I
Yeah.
just had to calm myself down to go to belly breathing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, I think like having a spiritual, like a time for yourself to like go back within, and like even like breathing, as you said, breathing helps you kind of redirect your energy and
Yes,
focus into yourself. So like
exactly.
belly breathing, it brings you back deeper instead of, as opposed to like chest breathing and
Oh,
like more
yes,
shallow breathing.
right. And be mindful of the fact that when you're sleeping, that you sleep with your mouth closed.
Mm-hmm.
And when you breathe through your nose only, not through your mouth.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that definitely I've observed a difference between my sleep quality when I have a closed mouth versus open mouth,
Yeah,
like in the
big
past.
big
Yeah.
difference, right?
Yeah, I've known that. So I do already try to always sleep with my mouth closed. It does make a difference.
Right. And so like, a lot of people, you know, people in your category going to medical school, they'll be challenged having a good night's sleep because they're mouth breathers,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're not breathing through your mouth but through your nose, you'll have better sleep, you'll be more well rested and be able to perform better.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because you have
Definitely.
because you have you have the brain power to do all that stuff. You're good at that.
Mm-hmm.
You said these are little things that skirt you, send you through past the other people who don't know this.
Yeah, exactly.
So back to the competition thing, you
Mm-hmm.
know, it's only about you.
Mm-hmm.
It's not if other people can't keep up with you, that's not your problem.
Mm-hmm. And one other thing that I need to like battle within myself is the ego, because as you know, I went to an Ivy League school for my undergrad. I went to Columbia University, and after that, I went to USC for my master's in public health. And now I'm going to Midwestern University, Arizona College of Osteopathic Medicine. And I noticed that a lot of people who go there are, they went to like a good undergrad, but not an Ivy League school. And I just feel like I know I shouldn't feel this way, but I feel sometimes like I'm overqualified to be there. And I am trying to fight this
Not to
feeling.
not to worry.
Hmm.
They're gonna sock it to you. Don't worry.
Hmm. Hopefully, yeah.
Oh, they will because
Hmm.
if a professor sees that you're bright,
Hmm.
he's gonna test you.
Hmm. Hmm.
I'm like, okay, she got that. Okay, yeah, let me see what she got. I'm gonna take care of this.
Hmm. Yeah. But like I don't know. Sometimes I was like thinking I should have gotten into like a better school like Harvard or Stanford or
Whoa,
something.
whoa, whoa, whoa,
But
stop, 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 stop. Look, does it really, okay, at the end of the day, what does it matter where you graduate from?
Mhm. It's just for show and just for prestige, which just doesn't
Yeah, so now,
matter in the
if you're
long
caught up
run.
into
Yeah.
that, if you're caught up into that, then that's gonna be a problem for you.
Mhm. Mhm.
See, because, you're going to a place that's not one of those, and maybe the conversation is, well, wow, you know, I'm a big fish in a small pond.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And you're gonna have I want to be a small fish in a bigger pond.
Mhm.
So your feet will not be planted firmly in that situation.
Mhm.
You'll open the door for excuses and all that stuff. But you know, it's like it doesn't really matter, man. It doesn't matter how much money you have. I'm using that as an example, right? It's not
Mhm.
about your money. It's about the quality of human being you are.
Right. Definitely. And yeah, it doesn't matter. And that's the thing with a lot of my classmates at Columbia that I went to. A lot of them ended up going to like Harvard or Cornell or like really big name like medical schools. And it's just like I see a lot of them posting on social media about it, like, oh, I started school at Columbia Medical School and blah blah blah. And sometimes it makes me feel bad, but then I realize like it's humbling. It's very humbling to go like not have to worry about my title anymore. Like I mean, it's humbling to go somewhere that I'm not going there just for the name. I'm going there to get an education so that I can have a job and get a career, and I'm not just going to show off that I went to this
See,
school.
here's the dichotomy. On one hand, you're not sure if medical school is for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
On the other hand, you're saying I should be going to Harvard. It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't make sense what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
Like you just said, it doesn't really matter. You're not trying to show up. What you're going there for, look, you're going there to get the training and the skills to be a homeopathic doctor. Boom.
Right.
That's
Right.
it.
Right.
Now, what you do after that, that's what counts.
Right.
Say there's a lady, her name is, I forgot her name. She's a psychiatrist, graduated out of Harvard, went to the Boston Psychiatric School or whatever she did. And for
Mhm.
years, she was just treating her patients with the traditional modalities.
Mhm.
But her husband, he's a big wig too, but he would also include breath work, body work. She got sick. The traditional modalities didn't help her. He used the alternative methods. And now, to make a long story short, she does breath work.
Mhm.
She's a Harvard grad. She's a big mucky muck from the Boston Psychiatric School. The point I'm making is it's not the school they went to, it's what they're doing with their knowledge
Mhm.
that's making an impact.
Mhm.
Likewise with you, I'm
Exactly.
saying you could tie your other interests into what you do. It's up to
Mhm.
you. It's not about the school because they're not going to teach you that.
Mhm. It's true.
See, what I'm saying to you is like have a plan. I know you got to go there. You got to do all that stuff, but have a plan how you can incorporate your like when you do physiology and anatomy and all that stuff. You got to draw that stuff out, right?
Yeah, definitely. And
Okay, so isn't that drawing? Isn't that art?
yes, for
Come on,
sure, that
girl.
is art.
Come
Mhm.
on, girl. Come on now. Don't you see the Da Vinci drawings of the human body and all that stuff? Don't they sell for big bucks?
Yes, yes, definitely. Thank you
And
for
and
reminding me.
and all the thumber dumbers that who can't draw, they'll be coming to you for help.
Mhm.
Talk about popularity, queen. Come on now.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I'm looking forward to that aspect. And yeah, Leonardo da Vinci is definitely one of my role models in that way because he's very versatile, like a man of all trades, I guess, or jack of all trades is
Yeah,
the
right, right. He
yeah.
wasn't a jack. He was a master.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, and in that way, I kind of aspire to be like that, just knowing a little bit about everything and being familiar with not only the arts and the creative, like literature, philosophy, things like that, but also the sciences. And even though it might not be like, I feel like it's not my passion, just knowing about those things could enrich my art, and like vice versa, my art could enrich my
Yeah, see,
career.
in other
Mhm.
words, I'm seeing hearing this. Your passion is tied into all those things.
Mhm. Mhm.
It's a little challenging for you right now because you don't want to give up doing what you love doing.
Mhm.
But just it'll take you. It's going to take you 6 years, okay?
Yeah.
But once you get out, right, where you're going, you'll be 30 something, right, by then.
Yeah, and, that's one thing I'm kind of sad about, like spending the rest of my 20s in medical school, because I'm 25 right now, and I'm gonna be 29, I believe, when I finish medical school, when I graduate. And after that, I have to go to residency, which is 4 years long in most cases. And I don't know where I'll be going for that, but I won't really be starting to live and like enjoy my money and my life and my career until my like mid 30s. And I
Well,
might, yeah.
let's look at it like this, right? Let's
Mhm.
say, let's take Michael Jordan. You know Michael Jordan, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so he was good in college, right? He left college early to go turn pro, right?
Hmm.
But the team he was with, the Chicago Bulls, were horrible.
Hmm.
It took him 6 years to, I think, 6, 7 years before he won the championship, right?
Hmm.
But in other words, he had a plan. He knew what he wanted.
Hmm.
So what I'm asking you is like, what do you want?
Hmm.
Now,
Yeah,
if you say you don't know, it's okay. But but knowing what you want will get you through.
yeah, I want like a big thing I really want is freedom. I know it's a very vague term, but I want to be able to like depend on myself and not have to depend on my parents or my mom for everything. And like becoming financially independent is definitely one of my goals, but also like personal freedom, like freedom to travel, freedom to have like as many, have friends and have a lot of fun in life and do a lot
Okay,
of
so
things.
so you
Yeah.
got that's why you're doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
And you're gonna have those things.
Mhm.
But I would say this: it's not about you're going to have. You have to have them now.
Mhm.
See, use the now language, not I'm going to.
Mhm.
See, there are two Lubnas if you think about I'm going to be. There's a Lubna 6, 7 years from now, and there's a Lubna that's now.
Mhm.
Now, the now Lubna can't wait. So don't panic. Just bring the other Lubna inside of you right now.
Mhm.
Because see, it's not about the money. It's about your attitude, your thinking.
Mhm.
Because, when you get into the environment you're going to get into, you're going to find people who will invite you to places.
Mhm.
You're going to travel.
Mhm.
As far as being free, freedom is a what? It's a state of mind.
Mhm.
Like take Nelson Mandela, right?
Mhm.
Locked up for 20, 26 years, 20 years,
Yeah.
you know? I mean, like he was physically bound, but I'm thinking his spirit was free.
Yeah. Yeah. That's very valuable. That's a very valuable insight for me to understand, because like right now I don't feel free, and I have to change my mind and change my way of thinking about that, because I feel like I'm trapped in like
And
a
I know
path.
I know where you
Yeah.
are. See,
Yeah.
one of your major problems is Luna.
Hmm.
You haven't contacted me since February.
Hmm. Yeah, that's true.
All
I
right.
wish I contacted you earlier.
Right. So
Hmm.
you know, being, and then I'm going to speak to you as I see it. Being in your age group, two things. One, now you're 25.
Yes, I'm 25.
Okay. You know about the Saturn return.
Yeah, you told me about it previously, but could you remind me what that is
Okay.
again?
So every 28 years we go through a major Saturn return. In other words, Saturn goes back to your natal spot, the time you were born.
Mm-hmm.
Wherever Saturn was when you were born, it goes back that time every 28 years because it takes Saturn 28 years to go around
Mm-hmm.
the sun.
Mm-hmm.
Got it? So now during that time, I can't say what you're going to experience, but what I experienced was a major shift in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Like before then, life was like pa-pat, 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 pa-pat. When that came out, and it comes on about 25, 26. That's what I'm telling you right now.
Yeah.
It doesn't just happen at 28 because it's a 2-year orb to go in and 2-year orb to go out. So while you're in medical school, you're going to be in the Saturn.
Yeah.
It can't, for me, it was a very, very, it was a challenge. It was a challenge. You know, ego wise, spiritual wise, all that kind of stuff. But it's part of growing up. I'm just letting you know that's a factor to consider what you got to go through now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So if it appears like it's dark, don't worry about it. It's going to get light.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, I think so. I just feel like sometimes, what Mercury retrograde is? Have you heard
Yes,
of that?
we're in Mercury retrograde now.
Yeah, like whenever that happens, sometimes I just feel weird. Like I feel like there's like nothing physically wrong in my life, but I just feel like a little like strange and like psychically. It's hard to explain, but I feel that way now, nowadays at this age and this part of my life and this stage of my life. I feel a little bit like out of place, but that just might be the Saturn
Yes,
return thing that you're talking
that's
about. Yeah.
right. There you go. See, that's what I'm saying, right? Right.
Mm-hmm.
But see, you're never out of place. All it is just lessons.
Yeah.
I'm sharing this with you because if you remember that, if you're conscious of that, when the things happen, it won't be like, oh my God, it's the end of the world.
Mm-hmm.
So because the sun always comes up, right?
Right.
So like today, if something goes wrong, it won't, tomorrow will be different. That's the way it works. But if we keep that tragedy in our heads and our thinking, then it'll
Mm-hmm.
be living with us.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I say use your breathing, because the breathing can help you get rid of that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. For sure. And yeah, like of what one thing you said really stood out to me, like the like tomorrow, I mean, it's not going to be dark forever. Tomorrow is a new day and like things will be different. And like sometimes when I'm in a dark state of mind, or like a place where I don't want to be, I just feel like it's going to last forever, and it won't change. Like it's like a mental hole. Like when you're in a mental hole, you feel like that's all that life is, and there's
Right,
nothing
right.
outside of that. But obviously there is a lot outside of like this place.
Here's what it is. You have two choices: to live in the mental hole in the dark,
Hmm.
or to breathe. What you
Hmm.
gonna choose?
Breathe.
Right. That's why you do the breathing exercise. That's why you do the breathing exercises to the point that you have to gasp for air.
Hmm.
Not just breathing comfortably. You have to push yourself to a point of like, oh, I can't hold it anymore.
Hmm.
Right? That
Hmm.
clears your head because you're making a decision to
Hmm.
be in the dark or to breathe.
Hmm. Hmm.
It's not going to make it go away, but it's easier to manage. It's easier to process.
Hmm.
See, like I get the impression that you're like Edgar Allan Poe. You like the dark side.
Yeah, maybe it's just I think a lot. I'm very
No, 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 no. There's no yes, yes,
existential.
yes, 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 yes. Because
Existential.
when you're brooding, then you do your best work. Isn't that right?
Yes, for sure. Like I have to, like those artists that have to be depressed in order to
Yeah, right.
be
I got you.
inspired.
Let me just tell you something. That's a fallacy. Don't buy that.
Hmm.
Okay. I'm an artist. I don't do my best work when I'm brooding.
Hmm.
Okay. I used to around the same time your age,
Hmm.
but I learned
Hmm.
that it's like, like a professional athlete, professional surgeon. Surgeons have to be on all the time.
Hmm.
Even if they don't feel like it, they got to go do the job.
Right.
So how do they get to that point?
They have to control their emotions, I guess, or
Or
I don't
just
know.
it's like, okay, say like you have a job you don't want to go to today, but you have to go anyway. So how do you get yourself up there?
Um, I I just, I do everything that's part of my routine. I get ready and I get dressed and I go and I do the job and I put my problems or like my emotions aside and then
Oh,
deal with them after.
okay. Well, what's your name? You already got the answer. All right. I mean, come on, Luna, you got it, man.
hmm
See,
hmm
you know what to do, but you're too busy thinking about some other stuff.
hmm Yeah. I don't know. Sometimes I'm I'm confused myself about like myself. So,
Well, that's okay. But see, the,
mhm,
the point I'm trying to get at is, you know, only you can unconfuse yourself,
mhm,
right? And I'm just sharing with you that it's a process,
mhm,
and that, you know, unless you're an enlightened being, it's a process everyone goes through.
mhm. Right.
So I'm just saying, embrace it, and don't look at it as like, well, I might not like medical school. Well, that's really irrelevant.
Mhm.
Medical school is going to be one of your best teachers,
Yeah.
not because of the outcome of that, because it's going to help you become a better person.
Right. Yeah.
It's gonna build character. It doesn't matter if the other people don't like what you like. That's irrelevant
Yeah.
because you know what leaders do, right? Leaders are
Yeah.
like leaders are like are like the thing in the harbor, the lighthouse, right?
Mhm.
And the leaders shine their light in the dark, right?
Mhm.
Now, some people don't want to see the light, other people do. Even if they don't say anything, your light's gonna affect people in a positive way.
Mhm.
Now, being a leader may not mean you're gonna have lots and lots of tight buddies, but you are a leader. You're an avatar.
Mhm. Mhm.
That's the price you have to pay to be an avatar.
Mhm.
Okay?
Yes.
But if you go into it thinking the way you're thinking, what do you think is going to happen?
Then it's gonna come true. Basically, like the way you think it, I mean, that's what shapes reality, right? So,
Yeah,
I mean, if I'm negative about it, it's gonna make my experience negative. So I might have
right.
to shift my way of thinking and
Right.
look at what I mean, like look forward to the good things
See, like, here's the
about
deal.
it. Yeah.
You're an Ivy League, right? That don't mean crap, really.
Mm-hmm.
So you went to Barnard. So you went to Columbia. So what?
Mm-hmm.
No, because everybody that went to Barnard, Columbia, or Cornell, or Harvard, they're experiencing the same problems you got today.
Right.
The degree doesn't stop the problems.
Yeah, exactly. It's just a degree, and everyone's at the end of the day, we're all human, and
Yes, there you go.
we all have hardships and
Right.
struggles.
So so the name of the game is, right. Stop being an Ivy in that sense, right? Just get on
Mm-hmm.
with being Lubna.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I want to see. Like Ivy is, you're not an Ivy. I mean, Ivy's just part of you, but you're not an Ivy. That's just an experience you had.
Yeah.
That's just a
Yeah.
quiver, an arrow in your quiver, right?
Yeah. And another one, besides being an Ivy, I guess, another like part of my identity that I'm struggling with is like I lived in New York for 6 years while I was in college and afterwards, and I just feel like living anywhere else it just doesn't match with me. But then I have to remind myself, oh, like it's not the place you go that shapes you. It's I think you had put this in a comment before. You're like wherever you go, the internal weather is the
Yes,
same, right?
right.
Yeah.
The eternal web is the same, girl. Doesn't I mean? And I'm like, let me tell you. Okay, I'm like around the same age you are now. 20, was it 22, 21? I got out. I was 21, and I was going
Mhm.
to. I went to Middlebury College for a master's degree, and they have a
Mhm.
summer program. And so you had to go
Mhm.
to the summer program before you qualified to go to the real program in Madrid.
Mhm.
So I just left Hawaii and I was there and, and I was thinking, wow, I'm in a new location, and things are going to be different. And I
Mhm.
read something about internal weather
Mhm.
and it said the same thing. It's like your internal weather is the same wherever you go. It may appear to be different for a few days, but it's going to revert back to how you really are.
Mhm.
So it's incumbent upon you, right, doctor, heal
Mhm.
yourself. See, it's not about the other people competing in that outside stuff. You can handle that.
Mhm.
But the game is you. What's your internal structure?
Mhm. Mhm.
You know,
Definitely.
can you navigate this through like a hot knife through butter? Can you navigate it like that? And if you can, which I think you can, I know you can, how do you do it? Well,
Mhm.
you don't do it by reading a bunch of self-help books. All you do is just do your breathing
Mhm.
because that's your best teacher.
Mhm. And yeah, definitely introspection, and breathing, and meditation, looking inward
Well,
as
let me just
opposed to
let me
outward.
share something with you.
Mhm.
Before you meditate, you have to do your breathing first.
Mhm.
After you do your breathing, then you do your concentration.
Mhm.
Then you do your meditation.
Mhm.
See, in your field, in your endeavor, you need concentration to be able to concentrate on your schoolwork, your skill work, all that. Those are concentrations. That's what surgeons are good for. They have great concentration. They don't
Mhm.
teach concentration. They have to develop it on their own.
Mhm.
What I'm sharing with you, start now developing your concentration through breathing.
Mhm.
Because the concentration you're going to be when you're doing your breathing, you're concentrating on your breath. That is all.
Right.
That carries over into your life.
Mhm. Mhm.
So that's the real key.
Mhm.
When they tell you that so and so is not going to be there, there are a lot of variables for that. But one thing that's true that most people can't concentrate for 5 minutes.
Mhm. Especially now with um, smartphones and social
Yeah, yeah, you
media.
got it. Yeah, you got it.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. No one wants to concentrate. So now you have a month to get ready, right? Like,
Yes. Yeah.
like if you want, I'll work with you. But I have my protocol is called deep silence, right?
Mhm.
Now in deep silence, what do you think's in deep silence?
Um, Basically, being completely like separate from all distractions and just being quiet and doing nothing, absolutely nothing for
You
I
know,
don't know how long.
you know what's in deep silence?
What?
Deep silence.
Exactly. I mean, yeah, exactly. That's true.
All right. So now when you go to deep silence, man, it feels so good that it's quiet.
Mhm.
You know, all that stuff, all that will I fit in with deep that's irrelevant. I get deep silence. I can go to anytime I want.
Yeah.
Uh, but it's just a suggestion. You can make a choice. But I mean, for what I know, it's one of the best tools out, and it's free.
Mhm. Yeah, I think that's a very good tool to use whenever you feel like your thoughts are overwhelming. Then, like when you go to deep silence, you realize like that the thoughts are just thoughts, and you let them pass, and you
Yes.
just don't judge them as good or bad. Just
See,
let them pass. Yeah.
here's the power you develop with the deep
Hmm.
silence technique. When those thoughts come in, because we do it with a candle, right?
Hmm.
And when you do it with the candle it embeds into your like your thinking, like to your mind.
Hmm.
So when those thoughts come, just dial up the flame of the candle. Focus
Hmm.
on the flame. See, that's how you deal with it. So you have to have a reference point, not to listen to the negative conversation. So the reference point is the flame of the candle.
Hmm. Hmm. And like just watching the flame, I can imagine that right now, even though I don't have a candle in front of
Right.
me and I'm
You
right now, but
see what
I
I'm
can
saying?
imagine.
You don't
Yeah.
really need a candle, but you can see it.
Yeah, exactly. And like even any item, I feel like something similar to a candle, anything like in an empty room, like just sitting there with something very simple and just like focusing on that object.
Exactly. That's the
Would
whole point. It does.
mm-hmm,
It's not. You know, it doesn't have to be a candle. It could be something simple. Not a mandala. It's too complicated. Something simple,
mm-hmm,
like a
mm-hmm,
dot.
mm-hmm,
You can. I use a second hand on the clock. You know.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, thankfully, I'm actually moving into a new apartment with like very little furniture. Like I chose just to have a bed and a table, and that's all. I don't have anything else, and I'm very much looking forward to the silence and the simplicity, and it'll be very easy to go into the deep silence when I'm there.
Yes.
Hopefully. Mm-hmm,
So could I just add one thing though?
mm-hmm.
You're not preparing for your friends.
I'm not what?
You're not preparing your apartment for your friends.
No, I'm not. It's
So,
just for
so,
myself. Yeah.
so maybe you might want to have a couch and a sitting chair.
Mhm. I
Just
have 4 chairs.
okay, that's good. That's all you need, just in case when your
Yes.
buddies come over, they won't have to sit on the floor.
Yeah. It's very much similar to, Henry David Thoreau, the author?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, so he wrote about, like he's the author of Walden, which is a
Yes,
collection of essays, and
Walden
he
Pond.
yeah, and he went to Walden Pond and stayed in a cabin for a year, a month,
Yeah,
and 2 days or
yeah.
something
But you
like
know
that.
what? You know what here's what I didn't know. I learned later.
Mhm.
It was only like a mile outside the city.
Yeah, that's true. But still he stayed in the cabin like for most of his time, and he had actually 3 chairs, and there was a quote from his essays that really stood out to me. It's like 1 chair for solitude, 2 chairs for company, or no, 2 chairs for friendship, and 3 chairs for company or something like that.
Right.
It's like 1 versus 2 versus 3. Yeah,
Right. You
that's
know,
all he
so
needs.
so so I brought that up because we don't want to just isolate ourselves. We don't want to be isolated. We want to,
Yeah.
we have to have that contact. In other words, it has to be a balance, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just trying to help you balance that out.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. But also I'm not the type of person to party or like, I find it hard to make a lot of friends because most people are just not the type of person. Like, it's hard for me to find people who really connect with me on an emotional level. And
Excuse me.
yeah, hmm,
What is your mantra? I can, I can, I can, I can.
yeah,
You you,
it
you
should
ever watch
be.
you,
Yeah.
you ever watch that movie, Beverly Hills Chihuahua?
Um, no, I've heard of it though, but I
Well,
haven't
anyway,
watched it.
I know it's a silly movie. Serious people don't watch silly movies like that, but I watched it a couple of times.
Mhm.
But there's a part in there where they're looking for a lost dog, and the guy says to his dog, he says, you know, or the dog says to him, "What are we? Are we um, American or American?
Mm, mhm,
Right? Are we American or I thought we were American? You can.
mhm.
If you keep saying you're not, you're not. Well, that just builds up what?
Um, like self-doubt and
Yeah.
yeah,
In other words,
like
all those things. So in other words, maybe the conversation should be like, if I choose to, I can have friends.
Mhm,
And I'm going to choose some good friends.
mhm,
As a matter of fact, what I'm going to do the first day in class, I'm going to go over and say, I'm going to say, I like you, man. Let's be friends.
mhm,
I can't do that. Oh, what if? Why not?
mhm. Yeah, I will definitely do my best to make friends on the very first day, and
There you go.
there will be like events, like socialization events, like icebreakers and things like that on the
Yes,
first three
because that's
days for
that's
the
really important.
orientation.
And
Yeah.
that's see for you, that's important, Linda, because you've lived a
Mhm.
sheltered life.
Yeah, and I have some trauma from my past because my mom is very strict, and sometimes when I was younger, even now, sometimes she judges me, like if I want to go see my friends or if I tell her about my friends, she gets a little angry. Like she's like, you know, I don't know. She just judges them, and so I've become
But see,
very
we
introverted. Yeah.
but yeah, I got that, but we talked about that before. Thing
Yeah.
is, man, that's your mother's life. It's not your life.
Yeah.
So like your mother's your guru. Your mother's your guru in the sense that, in this particular sense, she's challenging you to step up and be you
Mhm.
because she can't control you anymore like that.
Mhm.
Doesn't so you have to be willing to say, look, even if you don't support me in medical school, if you don't support me, I can support myself.
Mhm.
So please give me the courtesy of, let me choose my own friends. Now
Mhm.
you raised me. And if you think that you didn't do a good job, then that's on you. But you did do a good job. I know how to value people.
Mhm.
Not only that, if I make a mistake, I have to make mistakes. How am I gonna grow, mommy?
Mhm.
But see, you have to be strong enough to say that to her.
Yeah.
So it's not so much her, it's you.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And this is something I've struggled with my whole life, but I'm going to develop
Okay,
assertive
here
skills. Or
no,
yeah, sorry.
it doesn't have to do it that way. Here's how you do it. Look,
Hmm.
you have a computer, right?
Yes. Hmm.
Okay, what you do is right, and you can record audio on your computer.
Yes. Hmm.
It has a playback on it.
Hmm. Yeah.
Has a loop playback loop.
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay, great. So what I suggest you do is record the conversation you're going to have with your mother
Hmm.
on the recorder, and
Hmm.
then tonight you play it with a loop. That'll go into your subconscious mind.
Hmm.
You're not going to argue with her. You're going to tell her that how nice she's treated you and all that kind of stuff, and you're going to suggest to her that she let you, you know, be more open, more free.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you don't want to see. In other words, the axiom "as within, so without" is the whole thing.
Hmm.
Because we project our own thoughts and our own reality. So if you keep saying that conversation, like, I can't, my mama, my mama, my mama, my mama, my mama, well, that's
Hmm.
what you're going to get. But you can change that dialogue. You can rewrite the program at night
Hmm.
because because the conscious mind is not on. You know what I'm saying? You can go through under the subconscious mind under the conscious mind to the subconscious mind.
Hmm. Yeah, I definitely need that. I've been doing some like self-love affirmations like while I mean there's a YouTube video that I play while I'm sleeping in my room, and it's self-love affirmations self-love affirmations while you sleep kind of video. I forgot the exact title, but it's really helped a lot, and I don't know how exactly it works, but it does help, and so I
Well,
will take your
it does
advice.
work because you bypass the conscious mind. The conscious mind is off duty while you're sleeping.
Hmm.
So I would suggest you try that. Just play it
Hmm.
all night. Do that for
Hmm.
30 days. I would suggest that. Now, affirmations to me are mental activities,
Hmm.
which they're okay. Yet at the same time, I find that by doing the breathing, it's much more powerful. You don't really need affirmations anymore. You're in control on the spot.
Hmm.
The difference between affirmations and being in control is this: when a thought comes in that you don't like, you have to say something else to get rid of it.
Yeah.
But and it's a mental thing. But with the breathing, it's physical and mental.
Mm-hmm.
You can just say, "I don't need that," and turn on the flame or turn on the dot, whatever you want. You replace the bad stuff for something else.
Mm-hmm. Hmm.
So I don't know what your time is. It's 1:30. We have an hour. There's something else you want to talk about?
No, yeah, it's 10:30 over here, but that was very helpful. Thank you so much. I know I didn't really share much about like self-mastery, I guess, but we are learning. You shared your advice with me, which will help me achieve self-mastery. So this is
Yeah. Well, see,
very
self-mastery is
helpful.
not
Yeah.
something that happens overnight.
Yes, that's true.
Self-mastery is like we
Hmm.
have to talk.
Right.
you know and so if there's something that came up in the conversation that's useful, then you can use it.
Mhm.
If you want me to, I'll send over that first clip
Mhm.
about the breathing. If you want more, let me know.
Mhm.
I'll work with you until you get there to the school. But
Mhm.
you can do that tonight with your mother.
Yeah. Yeah, I will definitely do that. And yeah, I would very much appreciate if you could send me that clip so that I can get or learn how to do my breathing exercises and be more in control of myself. And oh yeah, I also wanted to ask maybe like later on this year after my or like sometime during my first semester of medical school, I would love to chat with you again and just update you on how things are going if
Yeah,
that's
well,
fine with you.
when I'm always open for you, Luna. Just you let me know when you're available because I don't have your
Mm-hmm.
crazy schedule.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I have a crazy schedule. It's my crazy. I don't have your crazy.
hmm Well, yeah, thank you so much, William, for taking the time to speak with me. Are you gonna be putting this on YouTube as well?
Do you want me to?
You can if you want, or you can just send me the recording. I mean, like, I know like there's definitely some other people out there like me who are in the same position as me and who struggle with these things who can benefit from that
Okay, so I'll put it on.
knowledge as well.
I
Yeah.
just want to make sure it's okay with you because to me these are personal topics.
Yeah, I don't mind sharing my personal topics with other people. In fact, I was thinking of starting a YouTube channel as well to talk about things and like share videos, but I don't know, I keep putting it off and I just I'm gonna start or I should
Well,
start now.
no, see, no, you shouldn't start now
hmm
because you have so many things to get ready before you
hmm
start the school.
Yeah,
You know, just do your basic preparation.
yeah.
That's like, that's not going to really move you forward. That's just a distraction.
hmm
It's like, look, you have an artistic interest. You're a doctor. You're doctoring. Learn to be a doctor. That is
hmm
a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's say after the first year, the second year, then you could consider doing that. You know what I'm saying? But right now, and you should because it'll help your career.
Yeah.
But right now, nah. Don't make it like, hey, it's my first day in medical school, blah, 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 blah. I did that. Nah, 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 nah. Get your grades
hmm
on first, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? Get your
I
grades
agree.
on, keep your spirit up, keep your mind straight.
hmm
That's what you got to concentrate on right now.
hmm
That's unless posting helps you do that. I don't know.
hmm Sometimes posting helps, sometimes it just gets in the way
Yeah,
because
that's what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
yeah.
But it helps you do it. But I'm saying that would not be a priority for me right now. That's like,
hmm
let me ask you, what would be the benefit of doing that right now?
And just to document my life at this time. I mean, it's a very pivotal time in my life, and maybe like in the future when I look back, I would love to have these like videos. If I like make a little, even if it's just for myself, I'm not going to post it on social media. Just having a little bit of a recorded
Okay, so
thing.
if that's a daily routine, I could co-sign that.
hmm
If that's what you're doing it for. But I don't know. If that's what you want to do it. But I think that you'll find out when you get to school how that's going to play out for you.
Yeah, yeah. Hopefully, I will find out and see what works best for me. And
Yeah, if it does work, use it. Maybe I misspoke, but
mhm.
from my experience, I never had time. I was just so busy, in law school working, man. I didn't have time to do that. I could have taken time. I guess I could have
Yeah.
taken time, but that wasn't my interest. My interest was, succeeding. But if
Right.
this helps you get through, then use it.
hmm
I can't say.
hmm
Anyway, that's I'll send it over to you. I won't. I'm not gonna chop it up. I'm gonna keep it one piece,
Yeah, that's totally fine with me.
and I'm happy for you. I really am.
Thank you so much, William, as always, for your support and for being my friend and talking with me about these topics. I'm very grateful for this. Mhm.
Sure thing. So anytime you need me, you know what to do.
All right, I'll message you.
Peace out. Right.
All right. Bye, William.